Looks like we'll be underway soon.
Oh my lord.
Oh, wow. Boots in first chest, no need reset. Let's go.
Best seed of the tournament confirmed. So
This is actually the item that Aeide says he wants to see first.
Yep, I feel like this is the item that everyone says they want first. And there's that cane of Samaria as well.
There it is. This is shaping up to be a good morning.
It is. And with the boots, it's an early. They don't add a huge amount to your time, but they help enough where everything just feels better.
Yeah, everything just feels cooler when you're using the boots.
So most of this is pretty bog standard for what you expect even in an NMG playthrough, just with Cane of Samario instead of sword. Except they're also looking for that bomb to get into the back of Escape, so they don't possibly get real trolled by a Power Glove.
Now, with the Cane of Samaria, they will have a bit of magic to spare to farm for those bombs.
Yeah, it's one benefit of Cane over the other magic items, is unless you're just using the projectiles exclusively, you're always going to pretty much end up with a decent chunk of magic for destroying random things.
Yeah, and there's a couple areas in the sewers that there's a dense collection of enemies that you can just put down one of those blocks and let them all run into it.
Yep, and each Samaria block can do 5 hits, so that's 2.5 rope kills or 5 rat kills. So once you find one of those places, you can knock stuff out with a very small amount of magic. All that said, there hasn't been a lot going on in Escape since then. A couple chests we've seen have both been pretty much meaningless ones.
Now, I'll be interested to see if they do spend a lot of time farming bombs in preparation for Kakariko, or if they just plan on getting it along the way or buying it there, because they are not going to need it in the back of Escape. They can just bonk into that wall, and it'll go back.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It has been so long since I've seen boots in Escape or earlier, I kind of forgot that that was an option for those walls.
Right?
And that's a nice little switch there. Hopefully both runners will do a better job of remembering that off the bat than we did.
Oh, I have more than once been so excited that I got the boots that I then bombed that wall.
Yeah, I can definitely say I've done the same. It's the easiest thing in the world to forget, I would say. And it definitely looks with the way they're killing these guards with pots and everything, they were looking for that bomb. Caladrius got one. And the upshot of finding bombs here would be you don't have to go out of your way once you get to Kakariko to go find some bombs. You can just dive right into Blind's Hut and the well if you get 2 of them. I guess it's also worth explaining to anyone who might be new, the light cone you see here in the Escape is a standard mode addition to make the lamp able to be randomized. If not for that, you would have to get the lamp in one of the first 4 chests. So you get a free light cone in the Escape area at all times, any other dark room you need the lamp to be able to see in.
Yep, I believe that was a change around between V20 and V22 that they added that in, that the light world would not always have the lamp cone.
What is this seed? Gloves and the flute in the pack of Escape. We are going to be booking it around Hyrule, and Caladrius definitely just bombed the wall instead of bonking it. I didn't actually notice if Aeide did or not.
So what item do you think they're going to be looking for?
I mean, the easy answer would be the Ice Rod, which is always the go-to missing item. Let's go with something sillier, though. Like, let's say a super late hammer.
Since it's already been defined that I'm kind of cruel, I'm going to go with sword for go mode.
That's definitely always an interesting one, especially if it's like top of GT to get the sword and you have to go through the whole gauntlet with fighter sword. Or I guess you could go with the Dream and have Meyer, Skullwoods, and T-Rock all be pendants, and then all 4 swords in the upstairs of GT. We do also get a peek at Lumberjack Ledge there, just a big 20, so Aghanim's not going to be on the docket for getting that item at least. And shoutouts to the Crab as well for dropping some bombs for them, so they're nice and fully stocked for Kakariko.
Oh, and there's some money going into the Kakariko village. They'll be able to buy everything they want.
Yep, they'll cover the bottle vendor and give them a nice little head start toward King Zora.
Yep, they may opt to fill up their bombs as well before leaving, just since they don't really have a traditional weapon yet.
So we have the layout everyone wants to see. 3 crystals in Light World. Desert is a 5/6 crystal. The other 2 are regular crystals. And we commence the massive amount of item checks here in Kakariko with a couple big 20s, an arrow, and half magic. Half magic is one of those things you never need to have, but always really like to. The Swagnet is a decent safety, but not going to do a whole lot for him. Nice early mail upgrade. That'll make things a little bit easier.
Ooh, and a hook shot. And a sword. And $50. That's a good well.
That is, and getting that sword makes the boots a lot more valuable, since now they can just dash right through enemies throughout the whole time.
Yep, looks like Aeide is remembering to activate his flute. It's quite easy to get the flute early on and forget to activate it while in Kakariko Village because you're just so not used to doing it.
It's very true. I'm also kind of curious if either of these runners will make the play up to Death Mountain right after Kakariko before finishing up the Sphere 1 checks around the world.
That is an interesting point because they do have East Dark World or East Death Mountain access with the hookshot.
Yep, one of the common routing ideas that float around about the game is going where the item density is, and there's nothing else available with as much item density as Death Mountain after Kakariko. But on the same token, you may want to go South Shore first, look to see if maybe you can find the hammer or the mirror so you can wrap up Tower of Hera while you're up there as well. Let's see the rare moment where they enter a library and are able to get the item. Unfortunately, it wasn't anything worth picking up.
What was that chicken doing under the pot in there? It's a weird place to keep a chicken.
That is, and if I recall correctly, that's a chicken where if you powder it, it turns into a human, which just raises more questions.
Wait, what? Okay. Alright, I know what I'm doing after this race.
I know there's at least one chicken in the game that happens to. I believe it's that one under the pot in there. Aeide almost decides to skip that heart piece by the dam and then goes, I might as well get it. It's right here. Both runners also made use of the minor glitch to hookshot through a block since they cease to exist while moving, and use that to only make one trip into the dam instead of two.
That's a nice trick to pull off. It looks really smooth and really easy, but it takes some. It's not just spamming the button. You got to time that perfectly.
Yeah, a little bit early and you don't get in there in time, a little bit late and you end up stuck too far back on the block to be able to open the chest. Mini Moldorm came up pretty empty, just the silver arrows. Now we're going to flute to 8 to make this Ice Rod cave trek a little bit quicker.
Now, I wonder if they go and buy more bombs before going up to Death Mountain, because they only need the one bomb, but if they want to make a bomb jump, they're going to need a second one.
Yep, and they get that 3-drop there in Ice Rod Cave that kind of resolves that issue.
Yep, C just wanted to make the commentator look bad. I see how that is.
Isn't that how it always goes? We're doing the Old Man Cave in the dark on Aide's side. Gonna go ahead and sequence break the logic of the lamp a little bit. Usually that's a pretty good thing to know how to do.
Yeah, this one isn't too bad to do. And it gives you the save point, the save and quit point to the mountain.
Yep, and that save and quit point combined with the flute is pretty much the quickest way to get anywhere. Oh, there's a Master Sword.
So that's a really nice item to find on a sequence break, because it gives you that little bit of an advantage. But it also doesn't open too much for you that you're having trouble finding your way back on the sequence. Oh, and here's the lamp, so that sequence break is over. Thank you, Seed, for once again making me look great.
The Seed is just really nice about taking away expectations right as we have them. Getting that early lamp is nice, though, as much as a lot of runners who have played a decent amount of this and know a bunch of the dark rooms, the lamp invariably makes them all quicker. Trading out the red potion for a fairy. Functionally, they're the same thing when you're at 6 hearts, except the fairy auto-activates, the potion doesn't. Also an interesting note that with that lamp putting the Master Sword in Logic, there's now something else that's freely available in Logic that the Seed could make them do.
Ooh. Are we gonna see an Aeide Tower?
After the 8 items over here on East Death Mountain, they've got the Eastern Palace area left, so that's up to 14 items to look for. So odds between just those locations are they'll get something else, but it looks like there's a chance.
Yep, but for full dark, God, you Seed. There's one of the 2 items that they're gonna need for full Dark World access.
So now, if we don't find the Moon Pearl, that's still on the table. Otherwise, there's only the very fringe situation of a hammer at Pyramid Fairy that could force that. Well, the rest of Paradox Cave is empty. Just a fairy in a bottle. Aeide decides, okay, I missed the bomb jump, I could just walk out of here and go the long way, but no, I'm doing this.
Yep, Aeide is much like me. I know it's quicker to go the long way, but matter of personal pride at that point.
Yep, it's one of those things I see a large amount of us do, just because you have that moment of like, no, I'm not going to mess this up, I got this. It's when you get to like the 3rd or 4th attempt when you really start going, you know, maybe I just don't have this today. Okay, so Death Mountain offered us the mitts and nothing else. Will Aeide sequence break into the eponymous Super Bunny Cave? Nope, both runners choose not to sequence break into the easiest minor glitch in the game.
You know, that's really not a sequence break that I've seen much since last year's fall tournament or spring tournament. I don't know if it's just not that well known, or it does take about a minute to do all the walking you gotta do.
Yeah, and you know Pearl can't be in there, so you know you're going to have to come back up for Hookshot Cave anyway, but it does potentially give you a nice little leg up to jump on it when you're over there. Back of Sahasrara's hut was pretty empty. Caladrius skipped over for the moment straight into Eastern, so he'll be leading the way through this dungeon.
I didn't notice, did Caladrius pick up a fairy? Because he doesn't have the mirror, so to get back out and go to Sahasrara, he's gonna have to death warp.
Yeah, he would have gotten that fairy from the Paradox Cave, so he will have to dispose of that to be able to Death Warp out of here. Also, I definitely forgot that Quake was in Saucerall's hut, not on Death Mountain. Good call, chat. Saucerall's hut wasn't fully empty. Eastern Palace is keeping these two going as long as it can before it gives them anything they want.
Well, I think the seed is said, I've given enough. What more do you want from me?
Yep, and they're running pretty tight on places they can go before they start to run out. No one's checked the Gina's Cave. There's one more chest here in Eastern. Zora is also in Logic. They could use Boots Water Walk to check the Waterfall of Wishing while they're on their way as well. Caladrius having a little bit of trouble with that damage boost, and takes
Don't think you remember City. He's got the fairy, yep.
Yep, I was gonna say, and here comes the fairy, and the disappointment rises up. No, he was taking damage to do that Death Warp, but it took a lot of hits before that button actually got pressed down. So let's see where we're off to next. King's Tomb play with the early mitts and boots makes a lot of sense. Misery Mire is our green pendant.
Oh.
That just feels bad.
Oh, I hope Caladrius goes there soon. But yeah, they just got out of Eastern.
Question is, does Aeide go right back? Looks like the Zora play first. Looks like Caladrius was gonna go check Checkerboard Cave for that Moon Pearl, and then remembered he doesn't have the mirror yet. Also, shoutouts on this path to Zora. You don't often see the vanilla path to Zora taken in these races. Most people end up just fake flippering up here.
Yep, but we definitely have Zora money. So let's see if we'll get some life lessons or some worth.
Now, I would say I don't know if Zora has worth, but I've seen it happen a couple times. Not today, though. Just some plastic. So now I'd have to guess probably either the play to Eastern or going to follow up Caladrius going into Agina's Cave here. These two on slightly different routes through the same things. Caladrius now on his way to... looks like he's going to check Hobo first and then head over to Zora, while Aeide is now on their way back into Eastern.
Now, I know they found the map. Did they find the compass in here? Is there another item?
Yeah, the first 3 chests were big key, compass, and maps, so Armos definitely has an item still to hold on to. I was hoping that hobo prize would be the Moon Pearl, so I could, call the flippers on Armos, which is almost guaranteed at this point if that was the case. So now this will be the easiest. Ooh, that's an ice rod, I believe? It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I was not able to tell what color that was.
Looking back at it on the restream, it definitely looks like the ice rod. So that's a nice thing to know where it is.
Oh, and Caladrius almost ran into that crab there. Which he was in fake flipper at the time, so even though he has a good 8 hearts, it would have killed him.
Yep, for anyone who doesn't know, the reason for that, in the vanilla game, if you get hit in fake flippers, you are very likely to end up soft locking. So the devs of Rando put in a failsafe where you just die instead. Poor Armos Knights are trying so hard, and yet, there's the mirror.
Well then, there is our potential Moon Pearl at checkerboard.
I would be okay with Moon Pearl at Checkerboard Cave. It is my favorite Pearl location. You can also take a chance to do Super Bunny into the mini Mire Shed, which is pretty quick while you're there. Not sure if that's something that either of these runners are likely to do, but it can be a nice little trick to pull off that has given the leg up to some runners in the past. I did not see a single pixel of that medallion. There we go, quack! So once they've got, map check, we got red pendant in Skull Woods, green in Mire, blue in Ice, and I did miss the other 5-6 crystal. I want to say it was Swamp.
It was Pod.
I was way off. Thank you for catching that one.
And there was something red in Checkerboard Cave, but it wasn't a pearl.
Not at all. Interestingly, I just kind of looked through it, and if we get the Moon Pearl sometime soon, Mire is already full clearable. I'm definitely going to go ahead and call Hammer on that green pendant.
Ooh. Yeah, Vitreous wouldn't be too bad with those silver arrows, but getting to him with just between 7 and 8 hearts, it's a little difficult, except there's our hammer right there.
This seed, though, it really dislikes the two of us.
I know, maybe like we should just stop talking or something. I don't know.
Just give up on the predictions. We're cursing and blessing these runners way too much. With Boots and the Lamp, this dungeon is full clearable. With the Silver Arrows, Lamolus is a super easy boss fight. Good old vanilla Big Key. So now we're going to head off and kill Lamolus, and then if the item isn't on Lamolus, I'm sure Aeide will go back in for that. Not a bad idea. It does save a little bit of time to just take this out first before you waste the time walking up there.
Yep, that's a move I've definitely seen popularize this tournament.
It's never a very major time save when you've got boots and can just run to the chest, but it is a small little time save that can definitely help out.
Aeide using those pots to give him a nice little key dash there. If you line up right against the pots when you dash, pretty much all these rooms are based on 4x4 pixels, and the pots are in such a place that if you are lined up against them when you start dashing, you will be able to dash right through the door with a key.
It's one of those things that just watching these, you can't really pick out how it's consistently happening. So it always helps to explain how they're managing to just dash right through the door so nicely.
A lot of times I go with the, I have a 25% chance. Those seems like good odds. Let's go for it.
Seems like a decent bet to make. And Lamo's just had the compass, so our second item from Desert is going to be in the big chest.
So I'm going to ask you this, but then because I ask you this, they're going to get Moon Pearl in this last chest. You think we're going to see an Agaseed?
Let me answer that in about 5 seconds. Maybe. I still have hair. There are 2 items up there, but it's definitely looking possible. It's interesting that we're actually going to be completing dungeons in vanilla order on this seed, in terms of the light world.
That is very true. They'll be going up to Heron next.
The best part about that is the seed didn't really give them options. It's not like, oh, we had this choice and we did this. No, this is just how you have to do it. I take that back. You could have gone to Hera before Desert. I lied.
That's true, but the item density definitely put the desert area in favor.
Yep, just this climb up Death Mountain alone is probably about as time consuming as a chunk of desert on its own. So the final question becomes, is it a vanilla Moon Pearl, or is it on the pyramid and Aghanim needs to happen? Oh, Aeide. Aeide, no. Just a moment too soon, Aeide. Key pickup round 2 goes significantly better.
And an itchy trigger finger there, and down to the basement we go.
Yep, time to go ahead and take a nice little coffee break. If you need to stand up and stretch, this would be the time. By flipping that switch while you're standing on those pegs, you just end up stuck in iframes forever until you move, and you just let these tiles smack on your face and nothing hurts you. The good part is when this is forced to go up Hera and Hera's a crystal, because you know you're not just wasting time standing here, you know your opponent's got to do it too, so your coffee break is well earned. So Hera has 2 items. There are 3 locations left to check. 2 of them, or no, 4 locations. No. I'm getting lost in my own head. There are 3 locations left to check, 2 of which will be dungeon, or 1 of which will be a dungeon item, 2 of which will be items, if I could talk.
I hear you. It's early morning.
Got a couple options here of whether they want to do a bomb jump over to the chest or a hook shot and then bonk their way back across.
Chad asks if Moon Pearl could be in Super Bunny Cave, and the answer is no, because you need the Moon Pearl to be in the Dark World through logic. Really, the only place that you can find Moon Pearl in the actual Dark World is on the pyramid.
Yep, as much as Super Bunny is 100% free, because you just literally go through the cave like normal and you get it, it is still a glitch, and this logic is based on not having to do any glitches. And there goes the Aeide Dream. Moon Pearl on Troll Dorm.
Of course it is. See, teasing us to the end.
So now that we've completed the first 3 dungeons, you know, we'll go off to pull the Master Sword from the pedestal? Or, oh no, this isn't an MG run.
Close, though. That Moon Pearl in its vanilla dungeon.
And Aeide is coming right into the Dark World up by Village of Outcasts here. Going to go ahead and jump into Skull Woods, it looks like. No fire rod, but it's a pendant dungeon, so you hope you don't have to clear it anyway.
Yep, hopefully you can get those first 2 items pretty quickly and just head out to Village of Outcasts.
I have some bad memories about Skull Woods from my race last night, so I hope it pays off going in here for Aeide. Just big key encompassing those first couple chests though, so gonna have to go the long way around through the pinball room. This is the only chest in the entirety of the game that is a guaranteed drop, not due to logic constraints, but just because it was programmed to be that way.
Not finding a whole lot yet in Skullwoods, as Caladrius makes quick work of Troll Dorm and is rewarded with his Moon Pearl.
Aeide is trying to set up this bomb jump here. Not the easiest thing. You only have a 2-pixel window to make it happen. There is a nice little setup where if you release the spin as you start to fall and then hold away from the hole, you move back off the hole and stop on the first safe pixel, which makes it pretty much free to get bomb jumps like that. Unfortunately, all that work was just rewarded with an air capacity upgrade.
He is going to check the last location available to him. The Canis Samara is going to make that a lot easier than normal, though.
Yep, and it looks like Caladrius is also going to make the play right into Skull Woods, so no time gained or lost regardless of what might be in here, and the answer is nothing.
Luckily, he's not going to lose much time here because his opponent's going to do the same thing.
Yep, on the front of evil things that could be about this seed, it's possible that Mini Meyer Shed is important, and because they went to Desert before Hera, they missed out on it. That's a mushroom on Bumper Cave, and Aeide now realizes they don't have the cape. We are going to get a check of Graveyard Ledge. It's a location that everyone puts off as long as possible and sometimes bites them. Say it's usually a good play coming in here nice and early because chances are your opponent is not going to. Just a big 20 this time, so it doesn't really work out, but if there was something important in there, it can give you a huge advantage.
Absolutely, and this was not a horrible time to check it either. Looks like he's going to flip back probably to 3 and do our Village of Outcasts check.
Yep, they do have a completable 4th crystal in the form of Thieves Town that'll probably get knocked out, route around down to Hype Cave, then up to Pod, which is also full clearable. Let's see what they get between those two. Your hope is kind of to get the flippers at some point before Hype Cave so you can pick up that Ice Rod on the way to Pod.
So whatever the pendant is for Turtle Rock aside, we're only looking for flippers and Fire Rod, because we know where the Ice Rod is.
Yep, if T-Rock is Quake, then they're very close to hitting that go mode. Unfortunately, Fire Rod and Flippers can both be pretty randomly placed items. They can be pretty much anywhere. And if there's a medallion required for T-Rock that's not Quake, then that even ups the ante on that.
Chad is asking if we still have the potential for a pedestal seed. The answer is yes, if Bombos is findable without, having to go into Ganon's Tower or something. Because you could use Bombos to complete Ice Palace.
Well, but Skullwoods is going to require the Fire Rod.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. So no, pedestal could only be a pendant for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's still possible, but it's on life support. It's not likely going to happen. Of course, given the way this seed has treated everything, by us saying it's not likely to happen, that means that Ether is on pedestal for T-Rock.
100% for sure.
Aeide got a Tempered Sword down in Thieves Town. Not going to help on Blind, since Blind takes the same damage from all weapons, but it's going to help on pretty much everything else. Tempered Sword is arguably the most important sword pickup.
Yeah, it sure is. You know, it's there's a huge difference between Master and Tempered Sword, especially when you get to fights like Ganon. Between having to do those spins and not having to do those spins.
Yeah, Silvers make Master Sword Ganon a lot more tolerable, but Phase 1 and 2 are still a royal pain without Tempered or above. Ideally, Gold Sword you could, or ideally with Tempered Sword, Gold Sword is no faster for Ganon. You can get 1 cycles on both the first 2 phases, but it is a lot harder to pull off. So it's an advantage to get Gold, but not a huge one.
No, typically like 10 or 15 second difference if you can't double one phase with Tempered.
I have not been keeping an actual count of items in Thieves Town. There are the flippers though, so that's our Ice Rod and puts us a Fire Rod away from potential go mode.
Looks like we must not have seen the map or the compass, because Aeide is saying, nope, not going to the big chest.
Yep, and looking at Caladrius' menu there for a moment, kind of confirmed that. What was that? I don't think I've seen that happen before. I'm actually kind of confused.
I missed something. What happened?
When Aeide dashed up to the top of the blind room, there was the black circle that goes around Link, like when you use the book on Desert. Just kind of zoomed in, kind of focused on Link for a moment, and then backed out and blind told his pun.
Oh!
Seems looking at chat, it was an attempt at the blind palette glitch that went a little bit off and caused that to happen. I didn't know that was an option from that. In the meantime, Aeide is going down to Digging Game. So I wonder how long these two will put off heading up to Dark Death Mountain. Because you do at this point, when you're so close to possible go mode, want to know what medallion T-Rock requires.
Absolutely. And if you can avoid a full clear of swamp, all the better.
Yep, I'm not sure when the best time to route it in is, but I'd say you definitely want to jump up there before going into any more dungeons. Especially if you get Fire Rod before you go into anything, just so that you know when you're in go mode.
Absolutely. I could possibly foresee them doing pod before that, just because pod oftentimes requires mostly full clear to find the big key anyways.
That's true. It is Pod is one of those dungeons where sometimes you can go mode it really well, or sometimes it can just be a full clear even when you're trying to go mode it. This item set has been very friendly, though. They're going to be able to pretty much full clear the Dark World overworld in one nice little loop.
Yeah, and what's interesting is with all of the items that we've seen them get, and all of the options that they have open to them, these runners are doing the exact same thing.
Yep, which is kind of negative for Caladrius, who's kind of a little bit behind on the series of checks. Without something different being required, it's going to have to be made up solely on execution. Won't be able to just make it up routing-wise if they keep following the same path.
Yep, I'd estimate them at about maybe 45 seconds. Maybe a little bit more behind Aeide.
Yep, it's definitely nothing insurmountable, but when you get onto the more linear, or when you get onto the same routing as your opponent, you don't have as many times to make up that difference as when the seed is super open and you're going 20 different ways from each other.
Absolutely, and you brought up that shack in Mire that the fire rod's in there. Who knows when they'll go back? It's a quick check, but they've already been there.
Yep, already been there and cleared out the, oh, we're getting a swamp play from Aeide.
So this is a big deal, because assuming Caladrius doesn't do this, which now that I said it, he 100% will. If the fire rod or the necessary medallion is in here, it's a huge advantage for Aeide. If not, this gives Caladrius some time to catch up.
Yep, I'd definitely be hesitant to dive in here without knowing the T-Rock medallion, because this is one of the slower dungeons to full clear, and if you can get out of here early, you probably want to take that bet.
Yeah, you can save about 4 minutes in this dungeon if you between go mode and full clear.
So we'll see soon if Caladrius will make this same play. Nope, so this is our first major divergence, and it could be a very big thing.
Nope, he said, I am going all in on Swamp. I'll check hype later, but I'm getting everything I want out of Swamp.
Swamp does have a lot of items, so I get the play, but it's only one more than Pod, and Pod, like we mentioned earlier, you have to almost full clear anyway, even in go mode. So I kind of feel like Pod is definitely the safer play. This feels more like the gamble to try to get a lead type of play. And Caladrius is making the play, so no major divergence after all.
I swear they're messing with us.
It certainly seems that way. And Aeide is going the kind of general thing of go straight to the back and come back for left side if you need to.
Which, without knowing the medallion, unless he finds a fire rod and 2 medallions, he's going to need to.
Yep, which... I mean, there are 4 chests back here. They could find everything. let's see. We got the big key and a heart container. So, nothing important coming out of Swamp so far. And the compass. So, there are at least 2 items that they're going to have to come back in for. Depending on if Argus has the map or an item, it might just be all 3. Argus with Tempered Sword is very, very easy. The game expects you to do it with Master Sword. You can also do the menu boss using Hammer when you don't have Master Sword yet. But with Tempered Sword, you're above what the game expects, and it makes it very smooth. Argus giving away 3 bombs. I guess that's why he was exploding so much. All the other bombs he had on him must have had some trouble there. And again, Caladrius routing the dungeon the same way as Aeide. The amount these two's routes are the exact same is honestly getting crazy.
It's like we're watching an NMG tournament.
Pretty much. Like, I think the only check Caladrius has that Aeide doesn't is that Hype Cave check, which Aeide will likely be going to do as soon as they leave Swamp. Big chest has the map, so left side has both the remaining items. The downside of this routing through the dungeon is that when you do come back in, you can't do the quick way to flood this room on the left side by going into that switch room first and then grabbing the key and going back. You gotta do the way that it was actually intended and walk the long way around a couple times. I want to see Cape and a book on the left side. Cape to take them to Mushroom, book to open up the tablets, but none of them giving them an answer of if they have what they need. Caladrius going for the silver arrow shot on Argus, gets it on the 3rd attempt.
Pretty impressive, because it looks easy, but that is a really hard target to hit.
Yeah, but if you can get it right when he starts moving, it's a lot easier, but once he's bouncing around like that, it just gets very, very... Oh, Aeide, I'm sorry, Aeide. No,
oh, no,
don't
Aeide,
go back that way.
Aeide, no. Go back. There we go. No, no. Yes. Good.
Okay, he got it. I was a little bit concerned there for a moment.
I think he was thinking that if he fell from the other side, he'd be on the other side of the peg, which is not the case. Yeah,
I have definitely made that mistake before when I forgot the pegs and was just like, oh, I just need to fall down the other. Nope. That has been Caladrius' first chance to kind of regain some time on Aeide in quite some time, though. So going for this last item here in Swamp, will this have turned out to be a complete bust? Will soon be learned. Yep.
So both runners came in here on what I'm sure they considered to be a gamble. Both runners are finding nothing there, and Aeide showing his frustration by bombing the entrance, letting other people know not to go in there.
Like, thanks for that, buddy. You gave me nothing. This is what I think of you.
So how's each runner feeling right now? What's going through their head after a play like that?
Full clearing a swamp that you realize you could have go-moded that you expect your opponent not to have, you're not feeling very good. You're expecting you're way behind. The exception to that may be if you do see it as, you know, just routing efficiently to get swamp in there while you're on the way past anyway. In which case you might think that your opponent did the same thing and that, you know, you both went through that. Aeide choosing not to check the pyramid ledge or go grab that ice rod on the way to pod. Pyramid ledge could hurt. The ice rod is just going to be a minor time loss later. Pod is certainly a good choice of where to go though. 5 items, lots of keys, and it is full clearable crystal, and it's a 5/6 crystal, which opens up pyramid fairies, so all around it is probably one of the better plays available right now.
Yep. Keeps bringing me back to my thought process of that quick 30-second check of 2 chests in the Meyer area.
Oh, and our tracker pointing out that Aeide did not fake Flipper, only Caladrius saw that ice rod earlier. So they're actually still trying to find the ice rod, which is a very important bit of information Caladrius has over them.
Oh yeah, that could be a big difference because it's hard, since he's done Zora, it's going to be hard to route that in, and he may... He could potentially go into Ice Palace and then come back out before even realizing it's there.
Yep, I would assume that you would probably make the play on Hobo, Waterfall of Wishing, all that before dipping Ice Palace, at which point you would find it. But there is definitely that chance of diving into ice, trying to find items, and not even knowing it's there. That small little divergence earlier on with Caladrius going to Hobo could turn out to be a key moment in this whole race, depending on when Aeide makes their way up there. So far, Pod has not had what we're looking for, mainly the fire rod. We get some magic powder, though. Magic powder and net are combined probably the best safety in the game. And to answer a quick question in chat, it is 0 to 15 items in GT are pre-filled from the junk pool. So you've got somewhere between 27 and 12 locations that aren't junk and then you subtract out the dungeon items, the 4 small keys, map, compass, and big key. And Pod's still continuing to have nothing. Nothing at all, except that powder. Powder's nice, but it's not what these runners need.
Nope, they want the Rod of Fire.
Gonna have a little laugh if they go up to Death Mountain to do Dark Death Mountain and they find Fire Rod and a medallion required for Turtle Rock right up there.
Fire Rod on Laser Bridge.
That's always fun. The very, very specific key layout that allows that to happen.
Not likely, but very possible.
And I'm thinking, given what's left for both of them after this, making that play up to Dark Death Mountain is probably the best option. So we will probably be seeing that soon. They've also got the Pyramid Fairy they could do, which is a relatively slow check for those 3 items. They could dive into Ice Palace, which nobody ever wants to do. Mire is an interesting option, given that we were able to full clear it so early. That's sometimes a sign that you should be there.
Yep, they definitely have a lot of options open to them. Wondering when we're going to see this divergence.
The way these two have been sticking together so far, I'm beginning to wonder if we'll ever see divergence, or if they'll just keep making the same plays. It's always kind of interesting to see the races like that, where the runners' mindsets are pretty much the same. And then you just get that one little thing, like, say, the fake flipper to hobo, that ends up making a difference, while everything else is super similar. It's interesting to see those ones where this small things pay off instead of the big ones.
Absolutely. The thing, if it comes down to something like a hobo check that didn't actually yield anything.
And with 17 hammer smacks to the mask and 4 sword slashes to the jewel on his head, Helmasaur has fallen and left behind a piece of his heart. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crystals now. 6 out of 7. And that last one is going to make up everything left trying to find the items needed for it. Okay, so what's your play here, Aide? Thinking probably Pyramid Fairy into a Pyramid check.
Yep, we do have 5, 6, and then maybe see a catfish after that.
Catfish, destroyer of runs. Always a nice thing to get out of the way eventually. The seed kind of kept these two going with very few options to begin with, and now they have all the options.
And yet they keep doing the same things.
Missing that hook shot to the rock a couple times, like taking a hit, but blue mail, 13 hearts, not a big deal. Pyramid has a heart piece, and the fairy has a heart container, and a fire rod. So, Aeide is not in go mode, because he doesn't know where the ice rod is.
Oh,
But we
boy.
also don't know the medallion. We need to figure that out before anyone's in go mode. But Caladrius will be in much better shape once he makes that Pyramid Fairy play. With that flute to 4, looks like the routing consistency is going to continue. And in his case, as soon as he gets that fire rod, he'll be headed straight up to Turtle Rock to see what the medallion is.
Oh, without a doubt.
Got a 33% chance of having the right thing, so you want to figure that out ASAP, because that's not great odds. And Quakefisher was prepared for a riot over there. And our other fairy is loaded. $600.
Dang, she really been saving up her wishing well money.
Yep, and then Link just walks in and steals it all right out from under her nose.
Kind of rude if you ask me.
So Aeide is going to give us the information we've been waiting so long for first, it looks like. This will tell us if Caladrius is in go mode in a couple moments or not. Yeah, as was mentioned in chat, getting the riot shield, getting all 3 shields, does definitely make you more inclined to gamble TR. Laser Bridge requires an invincibility item or the mirror shield. So when you've gone the whole time without anything and then you get that mirror shield, it encourages you to go that route. So Aeide is probably in for a pretty bad time if T-Rock requires Quake. Caladrius had a little bit of an issue with those dead rocks over there, just stopping right in the middle of his path.
Yeah, and Aeide has been slightly ahead this entire race. And that simple one check is making a huge difference now. Interestingly,
Aeide was pretty much ahead by the time it takes to make that fake flipper to Hobo. So they've been ahead by the part that might be their undoing. Oh, we got Ether on T-Rock. We need another item. Aide's first choice appears to be Misery Mire, which is certainly not a bad idea. Caladrius getting his disappointment. Like, oh no, I'm not actually in go mode just yet. I would say that out of the plays left available for that Ether Medallion, Mire is one of the higher percentage plays.
Definitely. Your other option at this point is going to be Ice Palace, which arguably they're going to take about the same amount of time.
You've also got the annoying one of that one remaining item in Skull Woods. Mothula could definitely be holding on to that Ether Medallion. There's also the even more annoying option that we discussed earlier and I refuse to bring back up. And looks like Kala has decided that if I'm not in go mode, I should probably go check Catfish. They're on the way up there. First of 2.5 items of Mire is 10 arrows. Going to find 2 items in this dungeon, and then that green pendant will be able to be turned into Sahasrara for a 3rd. Now, where do you go next, Caladrius? Probably to the Waterfall of Wishing to get that $600, and then the important choices begin. Okay, go ahead and prove me wrong. Going over here, probably check Graveyard Ledge, I would think.
Yeah, that seems logical.
I definitely would think that they're gonna feel, oh, there's the medallion we don't need. We've now got every medallion except the one we actually need to complete this game. Yeah, I was saying, I feel like checking or not checking the Waterfall of Wishing while right over there in the area might come back to lose some time if Caladrius decides to go check it later. But with the flute, it's not a major amount.
Oh, we're gonna get a excuse me. We're gonna get a magic bat check here. Wonder if we're gonna go finish off Skull Woods after that.
I was trying to remember if anyone had actually made this check yet, and then I realized no, they haven't, because everything else opened. I can't believe it's not butter.
Actually, it was butter.
Oh, my mistake. Okay, so do we go Mire, or... Yep, off to Mire we go. Continuing to follow right along the same route.
Wow.
I am legitimately really enjoying how similarly these two runners are thinking. Mire is definitely a good option with 2 items in the shed and then 3 items in the dungeon. But it is still surprising to see them just so consistently having the same choices over and over again.
Yep.
So you clear this green pendant in Mire. You go over and turn it into Sahasrara. Where do you go next if that doesn't work out? Skullwoods, Ice Palace, or try to find some of the fringe overworld stuff before you do anything?
I'd do Ice Palace. Has 3 items. I seem to feel it has a moderate amount of worth in V29. I just think it's play right now.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Without, if we hadn't checked Skullwoods and gotten 1 item out of it already, then yeah, maybe that's a better play just because it's quicker. But going in there just for that 1 item is rough. And in the event of Ether on Pedestal, if you do Skullwoods last, you can just kind of walk over to the pedestal once you're done.
Yep, definitely. Got to be thinking ahead on routing like that. It's definitely a good way of looking at it.
And this is working out in Aide's favor, because if they do go to Ice Palace next, they'll probably see Hylia Island before they go on to do anything else. Or they'll at least check it on the way out of Ice Palace, so they will find that Ice Rod. Now, if Sahasrara has the Ether Medallion, then it might get a little bit messier. And here we go for the green pendant check. Fetch quest number 1.
Yep, so Aeide is looking for a progression item, but it actually will be better for him if he does not find one here. So Caladrius finds it, he's in go mode, and Aeide still has no idea where that ice rod is, but it's the blue cane.
Which is a progression item, because it opens up Spike Cave. Hopefully they don't take the bait on that. Does not appear so, going straight to Ice Palace. And going to do the hobo check first, so they will be finding their Ice Rod very soon.
Oh my gosh, do you see what's happening right now?
Yes, I do. Caladrius making this play.
Yeah, a thing's happening. This is different. They're not doing the same thing.
Yep, and one of these 2 plays is very likely to pay off.
One of these 2 plays is likely oh, okay. One of these 2 plays. What? Oh!
Aeide fluted back down here, so there's a chance he doesn't. Okay, okay.
Okay, we're good. We're good, people. We're good.
I was very concerned by that for a moment.
Oh, that would be bad.
So, like you were saying, one of these 2 probably going to pay off.
One of these 2 is probably going to decide the match.
Yep, the first major divergence of the run could be the deciding factor in the whole thing.
At an hour and 24 minutes in.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of betting the Ice Palace play will be right, but Mothula can certainly be a jerk and hold something. Of course, there is the other option of its pedestal, and this divergence is going to result in barely any difference in time.
That's a very good point.
We are going to get a Mothula fight with Butter Sword, which is fixed in Randomizer to not do 0 damage to Moth. Half magic with Fire Rod, Red Mail, tons of hearts. Gonna be real easy. Moth does have the benefit of those spikes that do 100 damage to you no matter what your armor, but
it is not Skull Woods. So now Caladrius has to hope that it's Pedestal Seed, or I gotta say that Aether's gonna be an Ice Palace. I'm trying to think of where else we haven't been.
yeah, there aren't a whole lot of overworld locations left. It's pretty much just down to these pendant dungeons. There could be some kind of wraparound stuff, but I think at this point, Ice has to lead to it.
Yeah, the only other place I can think of right now is Spike Cave.
And you can never bet on Spike Cave. It's such a low percent bet to make.
Yeah, tell that to my seed on Thursday. I may have forgotten about it and blind pulled the pedestal before I realized it.
Can confirm that's happened to me multiple times in the past. And it is Caladrius' turn to jump into Ice Palace. So far, we have not found what we so want in Ice Palace either. It's been pretty empty so far. Okay, and chat is pointing out that Caladrius not getting the green pendant does not have the Cane of Brian, but with the amount of health they have and 2 bottles, they can easily just sequence break Spike Cave if need be. It would just be the matter of making that choice.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Aeide. So Aeide counted his 4 items, or his 3 items at Ice Palace and said, I'm done in Ice Palace.
No, he got Aether.
Pedestal Seed. Oh, he got Aether. I did not see that. I missed that.
Yep, he noped out of there because he got the medallion. Now he's going to get that ice rod. And definitely has a decided lead heading up to T-Rock.
Oh, I definitely missed that because I saw him get like a red rupee and then bounce out. So I guess he was still looking for something out of Ice Palace.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice the check after the red rupee either. I actually got informed by chat that he got the medallion there. This is definitely going to be close. Some routing decisions in GT could make an impact, but Aeide has a distinctive lead right now. Not really an advantage, just a distinct lead. T-Rock and Go mode, not much of a difference. Caladrius will potentially save a little bit of time on Trinex, having that butter sword. I hate that feeling when you use super speed to get the pegs down, then you just can't quite seem to line up with that first one.
Yep, definitely annoying.
So Aeide is going to be entering T-Rock at 1:30:50. We'll see when Caladrius gets up here. This is turning out to be quite a close race. GT routing is going to be a big factor. Although, based on what we've seen, we can expect that to be a non-factor.
Yep, they're gonna, whether they do the right side gamble or not, or whatever, you know what, they're probably just gonna both do Dark Magician strats, just because.
Even more, the double tile room gamble. Okay, we've got pretty much the ideal starting layout for a go mode T-Rock. Your biggest hope go moding this dungeon is to avoid laser bridge. That's about all you can ask for in that respect. We'll likely be stealing a key from the Pokey here eventually to, instead of going to the vanilla big key spot, do that. Chain Chomps have the map. Yeah, I forgot to mention when he got in here, but Caladrius is about a minute 15 behind, so there's still plenty of room for things to change here.
Oh, absolutely. Minute and 15 seconds is not a lot in Ganon's tower, or even a single death to Ganon is easily that time.
Yep, it's enough where it's a visible difference, but not enough where you're sitting here saying, I don't think they can catch up, because they certainly can. I'm actually sitting here thinking about how close it would be if Caladrius had not diverged for the first time of the run, going to Skull Woods, and had gone straight into Ice Palace. I think if that happened, they would have been virtually tied heading up here.
Yeah, they pretty much would be.
So they're both going to be hoping to find a key in this chest coming up right here. Otherwise, they got to do Laser Bridge. There it is. Left the pegs a little bit early and took some damage, but with red mail, those rollers don't do a whole lot to you.
Sorry, folks, no laser bridge.
Oh, dear lord, that fire bar.
Oh. Oh. That hurt. He needs to get his hook shot out. There we go.
I mean, I know that wasn't intentional, but it would have been super impressive to keep that perfect pace with the fire bar intentionally.
He almost did. Which would have been bad for him.
Luckily now got a couple of anti-fairs in this room to go ahead and powder that should make it pretty safe for Trinex.
Oh, for a second I thought he was going to say YOLO.
Going in a half heart remove from full, which is pretty much perfect. You don't have to deal with sword beam lag, but you also can take as many hits as you would otherwise. Taking a couple hits to phase 1 of Trinex here. For Caladrius, Trinex is only going to take 3 hits per each of those heads, so it's a lot easier to get through nice and smooth, so that will be a chance to save some of this time back. And we have the world's shortest game coming up. Go ahead and get your guesses in chat here shortly for where the GT Big Key will be. There are 22 locations. We have a very short time, finishing in T-Rock. If you are a supporter of Speed Gaming, either a sub or have given 250 bits to any of the Speed Gaming network of channels, you are eligible to be on the leaderboard. Where do you think it's going to be at, Cobb?
Oh, with this seed, I'm going to guess that it is left side, chest 12. How about you?
I'm going to go with chest number 8. No real reason. Just going to go with that route. And with that, we go ahead and cut off the betting as Aeide is into GT. Hey, there's the cape. We can get that mushroom now.
Maybe that's where the big key is.
Oh, if this were Key Sanity.
Yep, this is not Key Sanity, folks. Not going to be on that mushroom.
So we are going to go kind of what has become the standard route, getting the small key in the Hope Room, heading over to the right, and then going to the left after this doesn't work out. Or if this doesn't work out, but, you know, I guess 8, and it can't be 8 if this works out, so I'm going to just say when it doesn't work out. Get a compass, 20 bucks, heart piece, and a bomb capacity upgrade.
So that was number 6, I believe.
Yep, number 7 will be Bob's torch coming up here. Bob lives.
Bob lives! Praise be to Bob.
If anyone picks up that green rupee on that torch, they're doing it literally just to get rid of Bob.
How rude.
And Caladrius is also... Oh, he got Wall Mastered. That might push him to the left side here. It does. Unintentional route divergence in GT has made this a little bit closer.
Yep, he definitely got an assist from that Wallmaster.
So 8, 9, 10, 11, and now 12 did not come up with the big key.
Sure, the first time this seed doesn't listen to us.
I don't know, it's been trying to prove us wrong the whole time. So, maybe it's
I guess
our room
that's
because
true.
of that.
But it seems like every time we say something, that's what happens.
It's very true. So we got chest 10 coming up here? No. Chest 13. There
13,
we go.
yeah.
So now, interesting small note on Caladrius' side, since he did not get to the end of that right side room but used the key, there is a chance that he needs to find a small key after the big key to keep going up the tower. And there it is. That's number 14. So congratulations to the closest sub or supporter to that 14, which was Liam Atlas, who gets 13. Very, very close. So Aeide is now headed up the gauntlet as Caladrius is about to get his big key. Went ahead and checked those. Ooh. Went ahead to check those chests, and none of them were a small key, so he has to keep going.
You know, it's good that he recognizes this. It would not be great if he didn't.
Yep, it's easy to see that big key and just keep going. Paying attention to the lack of a small key is a very good bit of heads-up play from him. So for those in chat who aren't sure why he was lacking a key, but Aeide wasn't, there's a key in the room you teleport to after the compass room on the right side that everyone always picks up after they clear that room. Since he got wall mastered after spending a key, he never made it to that key and grabbed it, and that has now pretty much cost him more time than that wall master just saved him. Going to go ahead and wipe out the Ice Armos, which won't take long. There should be at least one key back here if I am reading the numbers right. Yep, only one for him, but he can now head up the gauntlet. That definitely ate up some time, but it's still pretty close. Aeide is through Lambolas 2 onto the Samaria rooms as Caladrius is starting the gauntlet. So it will take some mistakes on Aide's part to drop this one, but it's still very viable.
Absolutely. It will not take much. One fall to Ganon. Well, he's got a fairy, so I don't know if a death to Ganon would quite do it, but a fall to Ganon, absolutely.
Yeah, with the safeties these guys have got, I don't see a death to Ganon happening, but a fall can happen no matter what you try to do. Taking an unfortunate fall as Aeide has become the best friend of every fire bar. They all just want to spend some time with him.
Just doing a little dance. No waltz.
Had zero fear about that sprite despawn glitch. It's always a risk you take there. Made it through the torch room pretty quickly, so it wasn't much of a concern. That little helmet causing some issues, though.
He will have the opportunity in this next room to powder some stuff, though.
Yep, and then we come up to everybody's dear friend Trolldorm 2, who more than once has helped decide a race. The bright side of this Moldorm refight is there's no center hole that drops you twice as far. Unfortunately, Aeide got super speed Trolldorm, but gets through it just fine.
Yep, so Aeide, and then we will see how Ganon goes for Aeide, but definitely a close one.
It is. It pretty much, if not for that key situation, which was very unfortunate, we would be talking about probably almost near the same. Instead, it's close in more than many of the races of this tournament have been. Ganon teaching Aeide about geometry. Aeide appears unhappy with the lessons, slashing his sword angrily.
But he gets Aeide 2 down, and that's all that counts. So all we have left is the pig roast.
Yep, and with Tempered Sword, Red Mail, Silver Arrows, it's not that bad of a fight. Caladrius is going to have a little bit easier time with that Butter Sword, but it should be pretty straightforward for Aeide. Why is there a light in the fridge if we aren't supposed to have midnight snacks? Good question, Ganon.
Because midnight snacks are delicious.
On to phase 2, gonna use that cape obtained in GT to make sure they get through phase 2 in one cycle here. And now is where the fun part begins. The holes begin forming around the room, and one mistake can cause you to have to start this fight from scratch. Caladrius taking a little bit of a fall to Trolldorm 2 there. Happens to every one of us because Trolldorm is a monster. And we're on to phase 4. Aeide doesn't get torch glitch, not a huge deal with silver arrows. It doesn't make a huge difference.
He can get a double here. There we go. Oh, yep. Got it.
Just 2 more hits to go. Could be another double. There it is. GG.
GG. And Aeide finishes the race with an official Speedrun TV time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 33 seconds.
Yep, and just as the Aeide is finishing up, Caladrius is on his way to Ganon. This was a super close and fun to watch race.
It sure was. I think we're going to be joined here by Aeide in a second. Welcome, Aeide. GG's.
Hey, thank you. Oh, man. That was a seed.
Yeah, it was a close one, too. I don't know if you've looked at Speed Gaming yet, but Your opponent is on Ganon right now.
Holy jeez. No, I haven't looked. Wow. What did he like? How close were we in terms of order? Like when did he hit?
The exact
Yeah.
same thing. The only difference was when you went straight to Ice Palace, he did Skullwoods first. Other than that,
okay.
it was like watching an NMG seed. You guys were doing the exact same routing.
Jeez. That's awesome. I was so 50-50 on Skullwoods Ice Palace, but the only reason I went to Ice is because I hadn't checked Lake Hylia yet, and thank God.
Yeah, that was the one other divergence was Caladrius did check Hylia Island pretty early, knew that Ice Rock was there. So
Okay.
if Rock had required Quake, he would have won by a large margin.
Well, I'm glad it didn't require Quake. I definitely would have dipped the first time I was up there.
Yeah, we were sitting here hoping for it to not be Quake, so that this race would become as close as it ended up being.
Jeez.
Caladrius, I think he was trying to set up the triple, but ended up getting knocked off there. But we'll be returning and finishing in short order.
Whew. Oh man, I've had a feeling that would be really close. This was a relatively linear seed, other than the friggin' debated Misery Mire. I thought for sure there'd be something in there.
Now, I was reading your bio, and you've only been playing Randomizer for 2 months prior to the tournament. Have you sped run other games?
I've done a little dabbling in Odyssey and Shovel Knight, but I mean, I've only been speedrunning in general for about, I don't know, since just before Odyssey came out, less than a year. And yeah, I started this in mid-February. I've been watching Link to the Past Randomizer for a year or two, though, before that.
Well, good for you. You definitely have learned a lot of the things that go into this in a very short time period.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that seed and just how I routed it in general. I've never seen first item boots before. That was incredible.
Now, your early swamp play, was that a gamble or was that a I'm here, let's do it?
It was a little of both. I still need a lot of items. There's a lot in swamp, and I can route the whole South Shore all in one big swing. So why not? I never have anything against early swamp. I know a lot of people do because it's a lot faster to just go mode it, but there's so much in there, and so often there's stuff on the left side, which this time wasn't the case, but...
Now, did you feel bad about your position after coming out of swamp and finding nothing?
Nope. I felt bad after coming out of Mire and finding nothing. I thought for sure I was done.
I was kind of wondering if that green pendant was going to end up paying off with Ether by way of Spike Cave or not, but turns out nobody ever saw what was in there.
Yep. I was also feeling a little behind when I did Hera and seeing the Moon Pearl drop as his item. It was literally the last place I could check without dipping Ag. So that was also pretty terrifying.
You were ahead at that point.
Okay.
Oh yeah, how'd it feel doing the Light World dungeons in vanilla order?
That was awesome. Yeah, get everything done. I was a little bit bummed Hera had Moon Pearl and it wasn't on Pyramid, so that it could have been like really vanilla style. Go through all 3 dungeons and then kill Ag and keep going.
That would have been real great to see.
Yeah, I was really hoping that would be the case, but it is what it is. Overall, I mean, I checked almost everything in the game. I'm pretty happy with how I routed this.
Yeah, definitely a great time for as many locations as you guys had to check. And Caladrius finishes up Ganon with the official speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 4 seconds.
Yay! GG!
Hello, GG.
Hey, GG, man.
That damn Ether.
Right?
This could have been a perfectly fine seed if it weren't for that damn ether.
Yep.
Actually, you don't know how bad that ether was for you. You actually had the ice rod when you went up to Death Mountain the first time. Well, not the first time, but to check Turtle Rock, and you had Quake and you had the ice rod. Aide didn't know where the ice rod was yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't check anything in Lake Hylia until I went to Ice Palace.
Ouch. Yeah,
It was
Ice Palace
very
was
scary.
Ice Palace was the last dungeon I checked from the pendants.
Yeah. I skipped Skull Woods.
Oh, no.
I checked the front half on my initial routing through, like, the first time I went to the Dark World around there, but I didn't do anything else.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it with Aide before you were in here, Caladrius, but you guys were pretty much following the exact same route the entire seed. It was incredibly interesting to watch. That Skull Woods play was pretty much the only major divergence, and it made up a lot of that time difference.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Jeez. I'm really looking forward to watching it back.
Because I was at Ganon when he finished, I believe.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's crazy.
That's
I'm
really
glad it was close.
Oh yeah, that's always the most interesting race to watch.
Definitely.
Oh
How
yeah,
about the
another
boots?
Oh my god, I love that.
Oh, I was so happy.
Yeah, I know, Aide, that you said that was the first item you wanted to find.
Heck yeah, the faster you find boots, the better. I want to go fast.
Oh yeah. I love that placement.
Same. You don't have to worry about finding bombs. You get to go quick the whole way. It was just really nice.
All right, gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts?
No, thanks for a great race, Caladrius. That was a lot of fun. And thanks to you guys for commentating and tracking and restreaming and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, thanks for everything, and good luck in the rest of the tourney.
Good luck to you both, and if you guys enjoyed what you saw today, which I know I did, go give those runners a follow. They put on a great show for us. Mentos, do you have any final thoughts?
just thank you guys for putting on a fantastic race. I wish you both luck in the next 4 weeks of the Swiss rounds. Obviously, neither of you are out of contention yet, so I hope to see you guys do very well the next few weeks.
Thanks. Yeah, I wish you the best of luck, Caladrius. That was a lot of good racing there.
Yeah. Good luck.
Did you end up checking pedestal while you were at Skullwoods?
No, I didn't have book.
Oh, that's right. Duh. I didn't see what was on it.
According to my end screen, it's couch cash.
Okay. Warp.
All right, well, thank you all for joining us. There is a lot more racing to go today. One sec. Looks like coming up, actually, almost right now, starting on Speed Gaming 3, we're going to have Gamer Cal and Dat Lasset. And Speed Gaming 4 at noon. And then races all afternoon on Speed Gaming, and one on A Link to the Past Randomizer at 2. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Cobb with Mentos Man. You guys have a great day.
Thanks again. GG.